Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. We are about to begin week one of the 2014-15 NFL playoffs. After week three, I made a video. It was episode 81, happens to be the number Megatron wears of the Detroit Lions. In this video, using numerology, I predicted that the Super Bowl would be Lions versus Colts, and I suspected the Colts would be the winner of that game. Since then, the Lions and Colts have both made the playoffs. At the time, I think a lot of people thought that was a far shot. So the picture is becoming more clear. However, the Lions are on a difficult path. They will have to win at Dallas, at Seattle, and then whoever they face in the NFC Championship game, should they win those two games, they would also have to play on the road. So the Lions would have to win all road games to make it to the Super Bowl. Anyhow, let's see. What I want to show you guys is that when I made this prediction, I made it based off of the number 44 and by looking at the playoffs in the Super Bowl from 44 years earlier. So check this out. This is the games for this weekend. There's these games today, the Saturday games, and then there's these games tomorrow, the Sunday games. These Sunday games are really curious. And even look at the kickoff time for Lions versus Cowboys. It's at 4:40. And remember, this started with the number 44. The Cowboys just won their final game of the season in Week 17 with a final score of 44 points. They got those 44th points on a gimmick play at the end of the game. All right, so look at these matchups right here. Prior to last week's Sunday night game, Bengals versus Steelers, I pointed out that the Steelers should win because should they win, it would create the exact same playoff picture from 44 years earlier. Let's take a peek at it. These are the playoffs from 44 years ago in which the Colts won their first Super Bowl. They were the Baltimore Colts then with Johnny Unitas. They defeated the Dallas Cowboys in that Super Bowl. 1971, 44 years ago. Look at the opening round matchups. Lions versus Cowboys. And the Cowboys won with a rare score of 5-0. That's a field goal and a safety. This was for Super Bowl 5, recall. This is for Super Bowl 5. The Colts also played the Bengals in the first round of those playoffs. Colts, Bengals, Cowboys, Lions. And then this year, we have the exact same matchups in the first round of the playoffs. So to me, Truth Seeker, this adds more credence to what I've been saying. We're getting the same matchup from 44 years ago when I made all these predictions based off this. If you want to see how I did it, go back and watch that post, episode 81. I used the dates, numerologies, and the scores from those week's games, week 3. You can go back and look at it. All right, so notice that these are the Sunday games tomorrow, and these are the Saturday games. Truth Seeker, I want to show you something about Saturday games in history. This is last year's playoffs. Remember, the Super Bowl finished with Seattle versus Denver. This game, I said, was a complete organized conspiracy. Look at the sum of it. 43 plus 8 equals 51. What's the gematria for the word conspiracy? Yes, it's 51. Stuff's all scripted, Truth Seeker. Even if my predictions are wrong, that doesn't mean this isn't scripted. It just means I read the script wrong, which I've done before. Trust me, these games are scripted, so this is what you really want to learn. All right, now let's look. Last year, here's last year's Saturday games. New Orleans versus Philadelphia, Kansas City versus Indianapolis. Notice that neither of these teams made it to the Super Bowl. These are the Saturday games. They did not make it. The year before that, the Super Bowl was Baltimore, San Francisco. This is Super Bowl 47 with a 33-minute blackout where San Francisco drove down to the 3-yard line, had all their downs to win the game, and then called the worst plays, 4 of them in a row, didn't hit the end zone. Perfect proof of a script, Truth Seeker. Anyone who watched this game and didn't see that it was scripted, they are blind. They are blind. Jim Harbaugh was the best play caller in the NFL at this time, and he called the 4 worst plays you could ever call in the history of such a situation, and the 49ers didn't win. Making matters more interesting, the 49ers came into this game 5-0 in Super Bowls. San Francisco sums to 50 in Pythagorean gematria. They will be hosting next year's Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50. In numerology, 6 can represent the flaws of man. In their 6th Super Bowl, they lost for the first time, becoming 5-1. Also, notice though, the Saturday games, here's the Saturday game, here's the other Saturday game. These teams didn't make it anywhere. Saturday games, the teams often get eliminated quick. The year before that, the Saturday games were Detroit, New Orleans, Cincinnati, Houston. Notice these teams did not make it anywhere. You do not see them in the Super Bowl. The year before that, the Saturday games were New York Jets, Indianapolis, and New Orleans, Seattle. Notice these teams did not make it. They did not make it. That year, the Super Bowl was Pittsburgh, Green Bay. Saturday games from the year prior, True Seeker: Philadelphia, Dallas, New York Jets, Cincinnati. Again, notice these teams did not make it. Saturday games are usually the throwaway teams in the playoffs, more often than not. The year before that, here's where we have the exception to the rule. The Saturday game was Arizona versus Atlanta, and also San Diego versus Indianapolis. In the AFC, the Saturday game didn't make it, but in this year, the 4 seed Arizona did advance to the Super Bowl, where they lost to Pittsburgh. If you can recall, the Cardinals scored really late. Larry Fitzgerald made a play that looked like it was going to be the cover of Sports Illustrated, and the Cardinals were going to win their first Super Bowl. But then the Steelers rallied late, won, and became the all-time most winning Super Bowl team in the history of the NFL. To date, Pittsburgh holds the record with most Super Bowls won, and the Eagles, also from the same state, have 0. It should be noted that the Steelers and the Eagles were both added to the NFL in 33. They're from Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. Keystone has a Pythagorean gematria of 33. So this year, this is the 2008-2009 season, is the year where we got the exception to the rule. And that exception was Arizona, who's also playing this year on a Saturday. And they're not playing Atlanta this year. Instead, they're playing a team from the same division. They're playing the Carolina Panthers, the only team that's on a 33-acre plot. Carolina Panthers. That stadium's also been the site of multiple drills simulating a terrorism explosion at a live NFL game. The Carolina Panthers Stadium, Bank of America Stadium. That's where that game will be played. This year, I don't expect Arizona to repeat what they did in 2008-2009, however. They're playing with a third-string quarterback. If they did make it to the Super Bowl, they would be the first team in the history of the NFL to play in their own stadium for the Super Bowl. It's never been done before. What I'm theorizing is that San Francisco will be the first team to do it next season. For those of you thinking the 49ers are down and out, I would remind you that their best players on defense missed the entire season. Bowman, Willis, their pass rusher, Smith. I could see the 49ers coming back in a big way next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Holmgren was the head coach of that team. We will see. We'll go back one more year, 7 years. 7 years ago, 2007-2008 season, Jaguars and Pittsburgh played on Saturday. They didn't make it anywhere. And also the Redskins and Seahawks, they also didn't make it anywhere. If you can recall, this is the year RG3 really hurt his leg. Oh no, excuse me, that was later. But that also happened. Redskins, Seahawks, RG3 got hurt in a playoff game. All right, True Seeker, I just want to give you these little insights about Saturday games, and then I want to give you one more nugget. I've been focused on Andrew Luck very much. I just noticed something about Andrew Luck. He heads into these playoffs with a career 33 wins and 15 losses. 33 wins and 15 losses. I did a video post before, I'll link it down in the comments, showing the tribute to Andrew Luck for this season. I've been saying since the beginning, this is Andrew Luck's season. It's all about Andrew Luck. I do expect him to win the Super Bowl. All part of the script. And here he is entering the playoffs with 33 wins and 15 losses. It should be noted that Colts sums to 15 in Pythagorean gematria, and this year's winner will be the 15 Super Bowl winner. Also from this earlier this season, Truth Seeker, there's this story about the Detroit Lions fan with the Megatron jersey. He got a tattoo before the season even began, supposedly, assuming this is real, of the Lions winning this year's Super Bowl. One more note, Truth Seeker. If I'm wrong about the NFC matchup, or excuse me, not if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about the NFC championship, which at this point I'm saying is likely going to be Lions-Packers, so my gut's been telling me. If I'm wrong about, though, Lions-Seahawks might make a lot of sense because this guy, Calvin Johnson, is known as Megatron. On the Seahawks, their star player, Richard Sherman, his rookie season, he went by the nickname Optimus Prime. What do you know about Optimus Prime and Megatron? Also interesting is last year the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. From their own team, Golden Tate, who won the Super Bowl with the Seahawks last year, went to the Detroit Lions. So Golden Tate, last year on the Seahawks, this year on the Lions, he also played his college football in Michigan. Michigan, where Detroit's from. So yeah, True Seeker, just want to give you those notes about heading into the playoffs. I'm still on board with the Lions Colts. I can see it happening. It should also be noted that Seattle, you guys, in the playoffs, the Seattle Seahawks have never lost at Quest Field. They are the number 1 seed this year, which means that they will have to lose at home for the first time in order not to make the Super Bowl. Could the Detroit Lions be the team to do it? We will see. All right, until next time, Truth Seeker.